Hey church, what's going on? It's Thursday and we are excited for you to be joining us for the Daily Dose. I'm Pastor Michael. This week we've been retracing Holy Week. We've been looking at the last steps of Jesus, and we began yesterday to talk about the Last Supper, right? This is this one last party he has with his disciples where he's laying out some really important things, right? This is the couple moments before they're about to go off to the garden and he's going to be arrested. This is a very crucial moment because in this moment, his disciples are going to get the last information that they need to hold them over from his crucifixion to his resurrection. This is where a lot of things could fall apart, right? For you, if you imagine that you were dying, it would be all the important things that you would tell your kids and maybe your spouse or whoever it is that's important to you, right? It's an incredible, incredible moment, but in it, we see something kind of peculiar, and I want to explain it to you. It happens in chapter 22, verse 19. It's this incredible statement that Jesus makes where it looks like this. And he took some bread and gave thanks and broke it and gave it to them, saying, "This is my body given for you. Do this in remembrance of me." What the heck is Jesus talking about here? This is something that we commonly call communion or the Lord's Supper. It's a practice of reminding us of the sacrifice of Jesus on the cross. You see, first, Jesus explains his body, which is broken for us. This is obviously referring to the cross that Jesus would face shortening. Now, Jesus isn't telling us that we are actually eating his body. It's a statement about the bread of life. Over and over and over again in the Bible, there's different statements about Jesus being the bread of life for us. What Jesus is communicating to his disciples is that through his death on the cross, we will all receive something incredible, the opportunity to be eternally sustained by the bread of life, that we can spend eternity with him. After verse 19, he picks up the cup and he continues saying this. In the same way, after the supper, he took the cup saying, "This cup is the new covenant of my blood, which is poured out for you." What does this mean? Well, you see, the Israelites had a covenant or an agreement with God that surrounded the thought of obedience. That as they obeyed his laws and honored his heart, they would be blessed and prosperous. In other words, as they pursued righteousness, in other words, to be right with God, God's presence and power would be felt in the nation. This covenant agreement that Christ is talking about is something completely different. It's a new covenant that his blood on the cross for our sins will create. That by his death on the cross, his blood would cover the punishment for our sins so that we could be right with him, so that we could spend eternity with him. This grace covenant is available for everyone. Well, why is this important, right? Why is it important that we remember this? Why should we partake in it? Well, it's a reminder for our soul of the grace that covers us and the God who sustained us. Here's my challenge to you today. Here's what we believe at Pathways, that it's not about what you use, it's about the heart behind it. So here's what I want you to do. Tonight, when you go home, what's really cool is this is the exact day and the exact hour that Jesus would have done it with his disciples. I want you to go home. I want you to, if you have a family, get your family together. If you're alone, do it with just you and Jesus. But take some time to read through this passage. It's Luke 22, and you can start right about 18 and continue on through 21. But take communion as a family. And in this moment, remember how good our God is. That no matter how bleak your situation may feel, no matter how hard your life has been lately, no matter how dark your Friday is, that Sunday is coming, and that Sunday changes everything. This has been the Daily Dose. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.